Hey there, welcome back. I'm John. It's midsummer and it's hot out, but what better way to stay cool than to go for a hike down the middle of a river? We're going to see what we can see both above and below the surface of the water. But before we do that, I want to take a quick moment to thank each and every one of you for the overwhelming amount of support that you've shown me over the past couple months. This channel is called See What We Can See, not See What I Can See, and I couldn't have done it without your support. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much.
Beneath the surface of this quiet river, an entire world stirs with life. Hidden among the rocks, fish guard their nests. On the banks, turtles wander in search of sun and food. Insects skim the water's surface, dancing as if weightless. And the plants, some native, some invasive, battle for their place along the shore. The river is never still. Each step reveals another story. Join me as we walk the river. In the gravel beds of the shallows, an extraordinary labor is underway. The males of two species, the pumpkin seed and the red-breast sunfish, are hard at work. Each has carved a near-perfect circle into the riverbed. It is here that the females will lay their eggs, and it is here that the future of the species is fiercely defended. The males are tireless. Every grain of sand, every pebble is fanned clean with their fins. Their vigilance never wavers. Each nest is a fortress, and the guardian will attack anything that strays too close. These fish are small, but their determination is immense. Again and again, they drive away intruders. For a few weeks each summer, these shallow waters become battlegrounds of devotion. And in this struggle, strength alone is not enough. Only the most vigilant males will see their offspring survive the perils of the river. In the shadows of a submerged stump, a different strategy unfolds. The rock bass waits, patient, unblinking. An ambush predator, it doesn't waste energy in long pursuits. Instead, it lets the world come to it. With its wide mouth and keen eyes, it is perfectly suited for the quick strike. Any unsuspecting minnow, any wandering insect that ventures too near may vanish in an instant. Even the camera is not immune to its curiosity or its temper. Hidden in the shadows of the riverbed lies a creature that seems almost otherworldly. This is the American eel, a master of disguise, rarely seen in daylight. Unlike the sunfish or bass, the eel does not rely on quick bursts of speed. Instead, it slips silently through the water, its body perfectly adapted for winding into crevices and burrows. Eels in rivers like this are migrants, on an epic journey. They begin their lives thousands of miles away in the Atlantic Ocean. From there, they drift as tiny transparent larvae on ocean currents before finding their way into rivers and streams like this one. Some may live here for decades, growing stronger, waiting, until the call of the sea lures them back, where they will spawn once and then die. In this moment, we glimpse only a fragment of its long story. A traveler, resting in this quiet corner of the river before its odyssey continues. Moving through the current are schools of minnows, flashing silver as they turn in unison. Small but vital fish that form the foundation of the river's food web. Shiners feed on tiny insects and algae, but in turn, they provide an essential meal for nearly every predator of the river, from bass to herons and turtles. Watching them swirl together is like watching liquid light. Each fish just a few inches long, but together they shape the rhythm of the river. At almost every bend of the river, watchful eyes peer from the shadows. The green frog, patient, alert, and always ready to vanish with a sudden leap. They sit at the water's edge like sentinels, waiting, watching. A drifting insect is all it takes. In the flash of a tongue, the frog claims its meal. Their presence is constant here. Step too close, and the shoreline erupts with splashes as dozens leap for cover. Yet moments later they return, as if the river itself has set them here to keep watch. Beneath the stones, another amphibian makes its living. The northern two-lined salamander. Slender, quick, and easily overlooked, it prowls the wet margins of the river. Unlike the bold frogs, the salamanders prefer the hidden places, damp crevices, mossy rocks, and shaded pools. Here they hunt tiny invertebrates, their delicate bodies perfectly suited to life in the margins. To find one is to glimpse a more secret world, a reminder that not all river life is loud or obvious. Some of it is quiet and fleeting. Along the bank, a rare treasure emerges: the wood turtle. With its sculpted shell and bright orange limbs, it's unlike any other turtle in the Northeast. Unlike many of its kin, the wood turtle is equally at home on land as it is in the water. This is no common sight. Wood turtles are declining across much of their range, threatened by habitat loss and illegal collection. To encounter one here is a reminder of how wild and precious this river still is. It slips into the water, vanishing into the current as quietly as it appeared. But in these waters lives a creature older than the river's very banks: the common snapping turtle. With a shell that can span nearly half a meter and jaws strong enough to shear through bone, it is the undisputed giant of the shallows. It lurks with patience, cloaked in silt and shadow. Fish, frogs, and even unwary birds may fall victim to its sudden strike. Yet for all its reputation as a fearsome predator, it is just as often a grazer. Here it feeds calmly among the river weeds, tearing away giant mouthfuls of vegetation. Ancient, armored, and enduring, the snapping turtle is a living reminder of the age of reptiles, thriving still in the quiet currents of the river. Not all of the river's hunters are giants. On the water's surface, another predator glides, small, but perfectly adapted: the water strider. With legs tipped and water-repelling hairs, they skate effortlessly across the surface tension, their shadows darting like tiny ghosts below. They are hunters in miniature. A struggling insect trapped on the surface film is quickly seized and drained. From above, their movements are graceful, almost playful. But from below, their long legs cast dark silhouettes, strange and alien figures against the bright ceiling of the river. Towering above the water, the catalpa tree makes its presence known. In summer, its branches burst with white blossoms, each marked with delicate streaks of purple and yellow. By late summer, long green pods dangle like ornaments, unmistakable signs of this riverside giant. Catalpa trees thrive along waterways, their roots drinking deep from the damp soil. Their shade cools the banks, and their flowers draw in a host of pollinators. For those who know the river well, the catalpa is a familiar companion. Even more imposing are the American sycamores. Their trunks rise like pillars, their mottled bark peeling to reveal patches of white and gray. Along many rivers, they are the dominant guardians of the bank. With roots that grip tightly to shifting soil, sycamores anchor the shoreline against floods and erosion, and their towering crowns offer shelter to countless birds. They are, quite literally, the trees of the river. But not all plants along the river's edge are native. The banks are often dominated by a sea of purple blooms, purple loosestrife, beautiful but deceiving. Introduced from Europe, they have spread aggressively, crowding out native plants and altering wetlands. Where they take hold, diversity diminishes. Yet it is difficult to ignore their striking presence, lining the river in vivid violet. And here another invader, Japanese knotweed. With bamboo-like stems and broad leaves, it forms dense thickets wherever soil meets water. Knotweed grows with astonishing speed, its roots burrowing deep into the earth. Few plants can compete. Once established, it reshapes the riverbank entirely, What was once a mixture of native shrubs and wildflowers often becomes a wall of green, uniform, unyielding, and almost impossible to remove. As we drift into the quieter reaches of the river, the world beneath the surface comes alive with plants as ancient and fascinating as the fish that swim among them. Standing tall near the edges, we find rough horsetail. This plant looks almost prehistoric, with jointed stems that resemble green bamboo straws. In fact, horsetails have been around for more than 100 million years, back when dinosaurs roamed. Their silica-rich stems once earned them the nickname Scouring Rush, because people used them like sandpaper to polish metal. Poking through the water's surface in graceful clusters is pickerel weed. Its arrow-shaped leaves and spikes of violet-blue flowers brighten the shallows. Pickerel weed is a magnet for pollinators. Bees often land on the flowers, and dragonflies perch on the stalks. Below the surface, its roots help stabilize muddy riverbanks, quietly holding the ecosystem together. Not all river plants are so friendly. Floating just below the water's surface are the jagged rosettes of water chestnut. Unlike the edible water chestnut you find in stir-fry, this invasive species forms dense mats that choke out native plants and block sunlight. Its seeds are wickedly sharp. Stepping on one barefoot is something you'll never forget. Nearby, broad green discs drift across the current, American water lilies. Their flowers, often white or yellow, seem to glow against the dark water. Beneath the surface, their thick stems and roots provide shelter for fish and amphibians. Water lilies are more than beautiful. They're a keystone plant, shaping entire aquatic communities around them. Together, these plants create a mosaic, some stabilizing, some nourishing, others threatening to overwhelm. They are as much a part of the river's story as the creatures that swim, crawl, and fly among them. As the sun dips lower, the river carries on in its timeless way. Its waters slip over stone and sand, feeding fish, sheltering turtles, and nourishing plants rooted along its winding course. Above, the last light of day flickers on ripples, while beneath the surface, life continues, unseen, persistent, and resilient. Here, every creature has its role, every current its story. The river is not simply a place. It is a living thread, weaving together the tapestry of our wild and wondrous world. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Until next time, get out there and see what you can see.